All right, yo, this is part two to the video that I was making about how to make it or how people are living nowadays or right now. Had to cut that last video short. It was my time. Yo, I ate some ice cream at lunch. I got an ice cream at the Quick Stop at lunchtime, and I ate that. Man, it tore my stomach up. But when you get older and you get lactose intolerant, ooh-wee. All right, so let me just try to jump back into what I was talking about. Man, okay, housing, jobs. Some people, I got a lot of friends, people I grew up with. Some people, their parents bought them homes. Lucky, very lucky and fortunate. Good for them. Some people got married like 20 years ago, 25, 30 years ago, doing good. I got a couple of friends that are doing good. They're married, have kids. They specialize. One friend has his own business. He started out working for a guy, having a small crew. They even hooked me up with a job before. Then the guy retired and he took over the business. And now he's got his own crew and he's been doing that and pays the bills. They got a nice house, property. The other guy does like IT work, but they got married and he specialized in that stuff. Got another buddy, let's see, who else? Then I got friends like my buddy that got out of prison. This is all by the grace of God too. Like, he could still be in prison, but he's not. So by the grace of God, he's out. And he's not homeless right now. He's staying at the halfway place. Well, so he is homeless, but he's got a place to stay, a roof over his head. Right now it's September 25th, I think. Whenever I talk to him, I'm like, man, like, try to lock down like your spot, a place to stay, like, think about your future, because winter is coming soon. Winter is coming soon. Man, let me get back into housing things. Man, if you're on your own, I don't know, you gotta be making like well, you gotta find a place that's affordable to cover all your bills, and you gotta have a right job. If not, you gotta have roommates. You're gonna have to have like two to three roommates. How many people you can fit in a house? Maybe three of y'all. Four is pushing it. If it's three of y'all, that's like a decent amount. Roommates are hard to deal with sometimes. If you know them, you don't know them. But when you live together with somebody, that's when you really find out like all their little quirks and who's responsible, who's mature, who's immature, who who cleans up after themselves, who leaves a mess in the kitchen and doesn't clean up after themselves, uses like cooks stuff and then leaves a mess in the kitchen or in the bathroom, or who doesn't do their dishes and then they let it pile up and then you just kind of automatically have to do it. Or if you're a guy who leaves, like, might shave and just leave the facial hair, just the shavings, like in the sink and not clean up after yourself. Or like you pay like, or sometimes when you don't have the money to pay the rent right away, on the first, and you want to pay the late fee, like sometimes there's arguments over that. Like, man, I got mine, you don't have yours, so you pay the whole late fee, the $45 or whatever it is now. I haven't rented in a long time because I've been staying with family for like the past 10 years. I'm staying with my dad and my mom. Um, my dad lives somewhere else, and my mom lives somewhere else, and I go back in between. Because I've been traveling back and forth between countries, back and forth, so it didn't make sense to get my own place. Because then you got to sign a lease and all this stuff, and I was leaving every 2 years. So that's my story. So I have lived on my own and with roommates before. When I lived on my own, it was in the ghetto, in the hood, back in like 2006, 2004, 2005, 2006. I was screen printing. I was making like $12 an hour. My rent was $100 a week with this one guy. First, I lived in a duplex with some other people. It was in the hood, bro. Then the same guy that was kind of working that property had his own property. We moved into there, and it was even further in the hood. I eventually left there, went to South America. So that was in the hood. That was a crazy experience. Anyways, or with roommates, I've had like 3 roommates before, so it's 4 of us. And I've had it to where it's just me and another roommate and an ex-girlfriend, where it was like me, my ex-girlfriend, and the stepkids and 2 kids. And that was pretty straight, man. We both had jobs. If you want to make it on your own, you got to have roommates, a girlfriend, or be married. Me, at my age, I'd rather have a girlfriend or be married. I don't have that now. Because like when you lay down and you want to go to bed, like, I mean, as far as like guys, like men, Like, I spent my 20s kind of doing that, like living with roommates and like we all like party. You want to have some roommates that are going to be serious though, especially if you're older too. You don't want to be getting involved with drugs, partying too much. My suggestion is if you are working full time and you do have roommates, after work, try to take classes and keep building on your skills, or have some hobbies so you're not just out chasing girls, chasing tail. Even if it's like once a week, twice a week or something, like have something like besides. That was, I would say that's like my problem, man. That was definitely my problem. A lot of partying, rap shows, reggae shows. We lived in a college town, so it's easy to get into that. Um, and it's all about who you know too, man. If you're cool and like people like you meet a lot of people, you make a lot of friends like for life and stuff, man. Especially through work. A lot of places that I worked at, I've met friends like for life. I don't want to say all their names, but from like I still know them. We still kind of we don't really keep in contact, but like I got them on Instagram or I got them on Facebook. And if I wanted to, I could like hit them up. Hey, what's up? But you want to be someone that's not needy, not always like, you want to have like your stuff together in a way, like as far as like working, like you're not quitting jobs every couple months. You want to be stable at jobs, unless you're quitting to go find a better job or a new job, or not a new job, but like a better one if it's a stepping stone. But not just be a flaky person. Don't be a flaky person that's a drug addict. I got friends that are super gangster that are not doing so well. They've like fallen from grace, living that lifestyle. I have a friend that's in prison. He's been in prison for like 10 years. He's probably got like he got sentenced to like 25 years for like kidnapping. He got hooked on drugs, and he went downhill. Basically, when people get hooked on drugs really bad and they start sliding down, they start losing weight, and then they can't hold a job or anything like that, and then they have to like rob and steal. And one thing about that is they'll rob and steal from the people that they know, because it's easier. They know where the stuff is at. So this guy he did 4 home invasions back to back, and he did some of my tattoos. Did 4 home invasions back to back, and like at least one of them was like somebody he knew's mom. Now let that sink in. He basically like tied this woman up at gunpoint, tied her up, put her in the closet or something, took whatever he took, and then went about his business and went on another home invasion. 4 home invasions back to back. At the end, he was trying to break into a house, and a couple was walking their dog, and they hit him in the face with a shovel. The man hit him in the face with a shovel, and then he was all bruised up on the side of his face. That's a bad story too, man, because I might as well tell the rest of that story. Later on, his baby mama overdosed like a year or 2 years ago. He had like 2 sons, and after the baby mama overdosed, like a month later, one of the sons committed suicide. So this all kind of ties together, man. There was this one chick I met years ago, like 10 years ago. She got hooked on fentanyl real bad. I seen her downtown turning tricks one time. Asked her what her poison was. Fentanyl. I don't know whatever happened to her. I haven't seen her since. She had kids though. She had a couple kids. Don't know what happened to her. Who else? I got a couple stories like that of people getting hooked on drugs and then kind of disappearing. I pray for them because I don't know where they're at.